Come with me, I'm canning apricots today. Gotta get our bowl. Then we cut open the apricot and take out the seed. Don't forget to save your seeds. We'll do a video later of planting seeds to be able to grow our own apricot trees. Anytime I find a piece that needs to be cut off the fruit, I add it to my little jar there. And then when I'm all done, we make sure that nothing's wasted and we run it out to the chickens. After we're done with this, we're gonna grab our jars. So my jars were already washed and sanitized, but I have found it's easier for me, especially when the jars are sitting out for such a long time because I do so many batches at a time, that I put them in the oven. I set it for 225 and I leave the jars in there for at least 20 minutes being used. We want to do this because we are going to put in hot syrup into our apricots. And if you put hot syrup into a cold jar, it might break. Next, we want to protect our fruit from turning brown. There are several different ways of doing this. It just depends on what you choose. Today, it was easier for me just to sprinkle on my fruit protector because unfortunately, these apricots are more ripe than I have ever canned before. So I didn't really want to handle too much. I do prefer to use firmer apricots so that after canned, they aren't all mushy. But we aren't wasteful and we will use what we've got. I figure, the kids don't care what it looks like. They just love the taste. Now it's time to fill our jars. Make sure when you're filling, you do leave a 1/2 inch space at the top. Next it's time to add our syrup. So with this one, I decided to go with a medium syrup. So I had this going on the stove earlier. It's just a sugar and water mixture heated up. Just make sure while you're filling them up to leave that 1/2 inch headspace. Once you're done filling the jar, slide a knife down the side of the apricots to release any of the bubbles. I always use a paper towel with water to wipe off the top of the jars. It does depend on what I'm canning though. If I'm doing meat and things like that, I will usually use vinegar. But for the fruits, just water's fine. And we place our lids. Now it's time to put the rings on our jars. So just do it finger tight. You don't want to put it on as tight as possible or it will make your jar lids ripple. You just want to be able to put it on tight with your fingers. Now let's get them in our pot. Now when I don't have enough jars to fill it up, I will slide the jar over and then I usually grab another jar and just slide it down and let the water fill it in. So that just keeps everything tight and doesn't let it tip over or break. You also want to make sure that there is 1 inch of water above your lids. Since I'm using my pressure canner, I'm going to put my lid on, but I'm not going to seal it. Time to get our jars out. This is definitely my favorite part of canning, being able to take out all the jars and be able to see all of your hard work. Then just sit and wait for the ping. So exciting!